Good evening and welcome to Caching in the Northwest. You know, this is the podcast from the birthplace of geocaching right here in the great Pacific Northwest. Now, it's Thursday at 9 p.m. Pacific, and they call me Chris of the Northwest. Now, tonight we're going to talk about geocaches and geocachers from here and all around the globe. So while you're searching for a way to adopt a zebra, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
That's right. And tonight we're talking about something that's, well, mysterious. Some people say they don't exist, but they do. We're talking about the Pacific Northwest cache machines.
Ooh, yeah. I got a chill when you said that.
Oh, how about that? Yeah, I think the air conditioning just kicked on. Hey, live audience, let us know what you want to say about Pacific Northwest cache machines. Whether you've been on one, whether you've wanted to go on one, whether you're like, I don't know what that even is. Hang out, you'll learn. We want to hear from you. But first, astute viewers will notice it's a monkey-free zone tonight. So first, it's time to bring in our crazy caching compatriots. Some say she has a knack for giving no slack, and others say there's nothing he can't tackle with enough spackle. All we know is they're called Seabeck Tribe and Terrible Teas. Welcome.
Thank you.
Guys, so great to have you on. Now, before we come and talk to you, we need to do a little bit of business. We'll come right back. So don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Or, you know, just sit back, relax, have a healthy drink, something like that. But it's a quick reminder that we appreciate the support of our patrons who help this podcast help keep this podcast coming each and every week. Special thanks to the Landshark, one of our corporate Denali level sponsors. You can check out everything they have at Landsharks. That's LANDSHARKZ, because we're all Americans here, z.ca. We have another corporate Denali level sponsor. Oh, yes, we have another one. And these guys are known as Gold Country Geotourism. So go to exploregoldcountry.com, learn more about the geotours, more about this beautiful region, and don't forget to download the app. It's going to have everything you need to help you get the most out of Gold Country. Go to facebook.com/exploregoldcountry to find out more. And if you want to find out more about supporting the show, click the Patreon link. It's somewhere on the cachingnw.com webpage.
All right. Well, we're going to have a little bit more news here. We talked last week and some questions came up. Yes, we do listen. We do pay attention.
Somebody apparently somebody else does too.
That's right. Somebody asked about lackey tags, getting lackey tags from lackeys. And it just so happens that Chris of the Northwest ran into a lackey. Didn't hurt him or anything. At the
Insurance
Bounce,
most of that.
Yeah. It was at the Bounce Star Wars Day event. And so instead of a glow, we're going to let you hear directly from a lackey. And they can answer a question that was brought up last week on that episode.
And here we go. Well, here I am at the May the 4th Be With You event. And I ran into a lackey. Introduce yourself to us.
I'm Jason. Geo Judd is my caching name.
And you listened to the podcast last week, and we asked a question, do lackeys buy their own tags? Now, being a lackey, we're going to take this as the definitive answer. So what is the answer? Do lackeys buy their own lackey tags?
Well, yes and no. So we don't pay cash for them, but we do have to earn them. So we essentially buy them with sweat equity. So not, and the misconception out there that every lackey has a lackey tag is people will go up to us at events and want your tag, and some lackeys say I don't have one, and they're telling the truth because not every single lackey has a lackey tag because they haven't paid for them or they haven't earned them yet. So.
is it a matter of time or effort, or are there a series of goals?
Essentially, it's through achievement.
Okay.
And caching achievement.
Okay.
Essentially, and that's to encourage lackeys to get out and cache, and,
Right.
get out and explore, and
Now, you're as a lackey, you're given a certain amount of time each month to actually go out and geocache during working hours, shall we say?
Well, they encourage us to cache as much as possible. Of course, some of us cache a lot more than others, but they encourage us to get out and get caching, certainly.
Well, thank you so much. This was very informative.
Yeah, you bet.
There you go. There was the definitive answer. Do lackeys buy their own tags? The answer is no, but they do have to earn them. So I learned something new this weekend, just to let you guys know. That was cool.
That was cool. And it's cool to know that the lackeys listen. So,
yeah, exactly.
Hello, lackeys. Thank you for listening.
There you go. Folks, we know you're listening. And if you're listening live tonight, we want you to use the hashtag machine to add something to the chat tonight. Now, it's not going to happen automatically. This is no AI involved here, but you can use the hashtag machine. There's no learning involved, right? It's just machine for something for the cache machine topic we have tonight. And of course, you can use hashtag FATAS if you want to bring up something for the after show. It can be anything. A cool event you went to this weekend. Just saying.
That's right. So we can all sing, "Welcome to the machine." No, let's not do that. All right. What else before we get in? Oh, here's a little news that was brought up. Hosting an event this year, it's kind of a big deal because there's a community celebration event you can qualify for if you've hosted an event, if I recall. So, Chris so helpfully pulled this up from the Geocaching blog. 4 reasons to host an event this year. Seaback Tribe is like 38 years of events banked already because it's just an event hostess extraordinaire. But here are 4 reasons: 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now let's jump into tonight's topic.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
If you're not aware, event caches are one of the many things that make geocaching such an incredible game. These gatherings offer geocachers a chance to get to know other players and share stories and caching tips. Attending an event is always fun, but hosting one is even more rewarding. Is that true, Lori?
Yes.
Okay.
Very much.
Now, like I said, particularly this year, it's rewarding because it helps you qualify to receive a 2025 Community Celebration Event, or CCE, if you prefer. So here's the 4 reasons, expanded slightly from what I just listed. Number 1 is you can build community and friendships. It's a great way to meet other cachers. It's a great way to meet cachers if you're hosting an event in an area that isn't your hometown. If you're traveling, plan and host an event. You could meet some local cachers from that area. You can build friendships. I have some friends that I would not have known were it not for geocaching. Reason number 2, as we mentioned, is you qualify for a 2025 Community Celebration Event. Geocaching.com is celebrating the upcoming 25th year of geocaching by bringing back community celebration events. These are special event caches. They allow players to celebrate milestone years in geocaching. So you have to host an event this year to qualify, and you also have other criteria you have to meet. So you can host an event, including CETOs, by the way, between January 1st, 2024, which has passed, in case you hadn't noticed, and December 31st. So basically, during the calendar year 2024, host an event, and you are then eligible to host a celebratory CCE in 2025.
Ooh, CCE.
Yeah. So that's reason 1 and 2. Reason 3, well, they're great for planning future cache outings. You can talk to people and go, "Hey, have you seen any great caches that I should go out? Hey, I've really been having trouble finding GC123XYZ. Anybody found that one? maybe we could all go out after this event and look for it together. You can plan cache outings. Hey, I want to go over and explore all the caches in Sandusky Park. Let's go together, do that.
And why wouldn't you?
So, right. So you can plan outings just by attending one event and meeting people and maybe chit-chatting a bit. Social skills and other skills. Reason number 4, you can sharpen your geocaching skills because you get to chatting, you hear tips and tricks, and you think, I never would have thought of that. Oh, hey, I'm having trouble finding this one. Oh, hey, it's under a fake dog poo in a bush.
So go lift up all the dog poo till you find the right one.
Right? That is not that part, but that is a true story. There was a cache when I was a very new cacher that I have looked 2 or 3 times. I can't find it. And at an event, I asked a more seasoned geocacher, I'm like, hey, where is that thing? He goes, oh, it's fake dog poo. And I'm like, what?
Sure, it's fake.
And I'm like, I don't really want to go exactly like you said. I don't want to go poking around at every possible dog poo I find. So he thankfully sent me a picture with a big arrow pointing this one right here. So that was great. But yeah, you might hear some things, pick up some tips and tricks, and sharpen your geocaching skills. So 4 reasons to host an event this year is you get to meet some great people, learn some new things, and qualify for that CCE in 2025. It's coming up quickly. So
yeah, it is. But it takes some planning. They're not just going to happen. You've got to do some work. Hey, before we get to our guests, I know we're stretching this out just as much as we can. Komakino says, thanks for answering my question about the tags. Komakino, thank you for asking the question.
That's right.
And GSM times 2 says, from spending a day with Gear Guru, I also learned they earn trips and other benefits.
There are some great perks.
Yeah,
being a lackey.
They get to do some trips.
Yeah.
They also, I want to say some of the bigger trips, like to say a Giga event in Germany and that go through lottery. So everybody has a chance, but you can earn them yourself. Okay. And you know what? We're going to throw Komakino out there and saying May the 4th, the Dark Side, Light Side, UD Side event was amazing. That was the one that Bounce put on
great.
Star Wars Day.
It wasn't about duct tape?
Oh.
Because duct tape also has a light side and a dark side and holds the world together.
Yes, it binds the universe together.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'll be here.
You know what? That actually makes more sense than this force thing. Yeah. Now, we've waited long enough.
Indeed.
Seabeck Tribe, Terrible Teas, welcome to the podcast. We're excited to have you on, and tonight we're going to talk about what a cache machine is, take questions or comments from the audience, and maybe even from us if we don't quite understand everything. But before we get going, why don't you guys take a moment to introduce yourself? We'll start with Seabeck Tribe. Ladies first.
Well, thank you. I'm Seabeck Tribe. I've been caching since 2005. Started with a family of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us. It's just me now because people have gone different directions. And I live over on the Kitsap Peninsula, across the pond, as some people might say, from Seattle. And I'm up to 5,400 and change caches.
Wow. Impressive.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm Terrible Teas.
Yep.
I'm Terrible Teas. I started in 2003. It was my wife and my son and I, and we went out as a group until my son turned 16, didn't want to be seen with us anymore.
It happens.
Happens.
Oh, wow. He waited till 16, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
My daughter at 13 decided that was the end. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, girls develop more quickly than boys.
That's true.
That's true. Yes. I've been involved with the cache machine. I did my first cache machine in 2006. So I've been doing these for a while. So, yeah. But just caching around. I'm up for 20,000 finds now. So I don't know exactly the number. I haven't looked.
That's just a couple. Yeah, when I first started geocaching, I met some of the local cachers, and In fact, the one that told me about the fake dog poo, you guys are local and might remember Geodiver. And at the time, I don't remember the numbers, but he had what I thought was just an astronomical number of fines. And I think he still does. Like, oh, that's incredible. You must have been doing this for that's a huge number of fines. He goes, well, doing a cash machine really helps run up the numbers. And I'm like, okay. Didn't know about what they were at the time. That's fun. So, like I was once upon a time, and I'm sure somebody out there in the listening audience is not familiar, maybe you could run through a brief history of the Pacific Northwest cash machines.
Okay. Travis L. was the instigator of this madness. He started back in 2004, I think in January, and he was doing it every quarter, so 4 times a year. Except when somebody else offered to do one in between. So there were some times he missed. Like I said earlier, I've been involved with it since 2006, going to it. I took over doing the maps and everything when Travis decided to step down because it's a lot of work. So I've been doing that for the last couple, and it's just basically whoever's running it, Travis, whoever, just decides where we want to go caching and goes out there and picks a bunch of caches up and sets a route up and finds a place to have dinner and sends it out and people show up. So
I remember talking to Travis. I think it was in January. No, he was talking to the whole group. He was like, how did you come up with the idea of the cache machines? He goes, I was no good at finding caches. I wanted people to come with me so they could find them and I could log them. And it just kind of grew from that.
Yeah. But it's a lot of fun. Basically, we all start at the same, I pick a starting time, usually at dawn. And we meet at one cache and we start going, and eventually you all spread out because you're going to stop for lunch, you're going to stop for breaks, you're going to, I've already got that one, you're going to skip that cache. I don't want to do that one, skip that cache. So you tend to string it out through the day, and you run into different people throughout the day at different caches. And then it comes in handy. I mean, if you get stuck, you just hang around for a few minutes. Usually somebody will show up and help you look for it.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and then dinners are usually pretty crazy. I mean, this last one we had over in Lewiston, we basically took over the restaurant, and we were so loud. All the people that came in to eat didn't stay very long. They grabbed their food and left.
Can I get that to go?
Yeah.
What is going on in here tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's how it works. I mean, that it's just where I want to go, or whoever sets it up. There's one coming up in Bend, Oregon, that's being put on by TW Lair. So I'm not involved with that one directly, but I'll probably generate maps and routes and cache tour things for it.
So you don't use Microsoft Treats and Trips just based on tradition anymore?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I'm afraid it may go away because it's 2003. The maps are old.
Yeah.
They're not updating it anymore. And then Cache Tour only routes up to 80 caches. So if you want to use Cache Tour to do your routing, you've got to break it up into segments. Some locations are easier than others to break up. Some of them pain in the butt.
I don't think I've ever found more than 80 caches in a single day anyway, but...
Well, you don't need to find them all.
Yeah.
And basically, you don't even have to follow the route if you don't want to.
What?
There are people...
Well, then why do you put out a route?
I don't. Most of the time.
Yeah. There are people that start backward.
I was going to say, start at the
Go
end.
backwards. Yeah.
Done
People
that.
start in the middle, depending on where they're staying. If they got a hotel out in the boonies and there's a cache out there, they'll just start there and start going around. You still run into people.
Sure.
You catch up.
Yeah.
I kind of think of it as a golf tournament with a shotgun start, where you have 18 teams and they all start in a different hole in the golf course.
Yep.
So you can just jump in somewhere in the middle of the run and loop around to where you started.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
that brings up a good question: is how does somebody participate in a cache machine?
basically, I announced them on Facebook, the geocaching forums. We have a Discord server now. And basically, you just show up. You know, maybe send a bulletin for the event that night. That way, we have an idea to warn the restaurant how many people might be coming. It's usually more than I ever hear about, but that's just the way it goes. Friday nights, there's usually an unofficial event, but Caching Cants has been holding Friday night events for me.
Okay.
We'll go over final route adjustments. If somebody comes up to me during the week and says, don't do this one, it's too delicate, there's no parking, it's dangerous, I'll pull it off the route. So Friday nights, we usually get together someplace, park, restaurant, wherever, and then we start at dawn at the first cache I pick, and you just go and do whatever you want. There's no rules. There's no awards for getting them all. It's just, you go out and have a good time and learn to meet people. Then you come to the dinner and brag, oh, did you find this one? Yeah, I found that one. No, I have. And it's interesting to see how many caches disappear that weren't there in the morning. They're there by the afternoon. Yeah. So,
well, I think all the hosts or the host here have been involved in a cache machine at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens if somebody doesn't follow the map, or even worse, gets lost?
If you get lost, well, you're kind of on your own because we're not supporting. But with the Discord server that we've set up now, we have instantaneous communications for the people who are on there. We found out about some guy who was waving a gun at one of the stops. Mm-hmm. So we let everybody know to avoid that one. We found out somebody got stuck in the mud. As it turned out, it was 3 people who got stuck. Ooh. But 2 of them got themselves out. One actually had to...
got stuck. I was very close.
Yeah.
It was very scary.
Yeah. So one person had to actually call a towing company, and they wouldn't come out on that road. So he got a hold of somebody with a Jeep to come out there and pull them out. So, yeah. So you can do what you like. I mean, I know there are people that'll figure out all the puzzles in the area.
Mm-hmm.
And if they go buy them they'll stop and grab those, even though they're not on the route. So,
yeah. Heather says it was the cache machine in Centralia recently, but I didn't understand how they work well enough to make it a priority.
Yes.
So, well,
that was the first one I did this year. That's where we took over the restaurant. It was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's see. The next one is going to be in Bellingham on July 13th.
Well, how did you know Nervous Energies was asking about that?
I saw it. No. It's one of the questions they get all the time whenever I run into people who know that I do this. They go, when's the next one? Where is it? So it's July 13th in Bellingham, and the one after that is in Bend, Oregon. And I don't remember the date offhand.
Well, Heather says, I don't know anyone in that area, but maybe there are others from the Portland area that went. I think she might have been talking about Centralia, but maybe she wants to go to Bend as well.
Sure.
Yeah. There were Portland people there. We had Canadians come down.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was, and the one over in Lewiston, we had a bunch of Idaho people because basically we're in Idaho. But
yeah. Connecting with other caches is great for those. I know I put somebody in the car that likes to navigate, and somebody that has a big car to drive around, and it's great. And there was also a recent one in Walla Walla that I didn't make it to the actual event, but the camp client and I did make it to the event dinner after the day of caching, and had fun, which disproves the theory that Ham and I are never seen at the same place together. Yes, we were. But
I try not to let them be seen at the same place at the same time because it ruins
the effect. Is that to confuse people?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So we made it to to the event, and even though we didn't do a single cache on the thing, but we still got to sign the log for the event dinner. So
It's a normal event.
brings up that question. So you don't have to find all the caches along the route to qualify for that event. It's not a challenge event.
Nope. You don't have to find any.
Well, then we qualified because we didn't find any that day.
Just show up and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
We did. Had something to eat and had a nice time visiting with friends.
Mm-hmm.
Can I go back to Heather real quick?
Oh, please.
Heather, a great opportunity is that Friday night event. That's a great way to network and to find somebody to hook up with and to go around, either to follow or, as Wits End says, jump into their car.
I jumped in the car with people I know. I just wanted to make that clear. But
I've actually taken somebody I didn't ever met before who was a local to the area, which was great because he gave us all these shortcuts. He goes, no, don't follow the route. Turn here. So that worked out well for us.
Nice. Well, Seebeck Tribe, you rode. It's a fun thing to do. Get hooked up with a few cachers because it just makes it much more fun. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's funner.
Oh, funner. Oh, funner. So yeah, I mean, that Friday night event, or even at the first cache, right, on Saturday morning. Typically, it's a Saturday morning.
Correct.
You get there and you're like, "Hey, can I ride with you?" Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
and off you go. Just
we try
make sure you find a good, safe spot to park your car.
Yeah, we try and find big parking lots near the first cache, just for that reason. We have had issues with certain stores being upset with us leaving cars there. But most of the time we haven't had any problems with parking. So, yeah.
Skyhawker says he thinks Bend is September 9th.
It's September sometime. I could go look.
I thought it was later than that.
So did I.
Well, it's going to be a
20 or
Saturday in
21st.
September.
Yeah.
Do you remember Saturday in September? I should write a song.
Yeah. Been there, done that. Yeah.
in the early days of cache machines, where they planned for the equinoxes and kind of things, the 21st of a quarter, so every 90 days or so.
Yeah, that's what Travis was doing. Now I'm just pretty much doing it once a quarter, working around holidays.
Okay. So you're not working at the solstice and the equinoxes?
I haven't really looked at it, but I suppose I could start doing that. I know the 1 July is the 4th of July weekend was the original date, and I figure everybody's going to be busy with that. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So we
IHAM says he thinks the first machine they did was the Gig Harbor one in 2025-ish. Or I'm sorry, 2005-ish.
We just started geocaching, and we learned about this one after the fact, but we went to the next one, the March one or the June one in 2005, because we had just barely started when this one went off.
Yeah.
Cool. There you go. Okay, so now we know where the next one is.
Yep. Next two.
The next two. That's right. Do you have a list of all the upcoming cache machines?
I don't. Travis used to keep a list, and I've got a list of those.
Travis planned it out for many years, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He actually, it was amazing looking at his list. I am still trying to generate ideas. I'm open to suggestions. If you have an area you'd like to go to, let me know. Send me a message on geocaching. I'm open to suggestions. The questions
sorry to interrupt. Skyhawker says he just checked. Bend is September 28th.
Cool. Yeah. Now I lost my train of thought.
That's okay. I never had one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I've got the list. I've got them on there. The questions we keep coming up with is, do we want to go across the mountains in the winter?
Right.
Do we want to stay on this side of the thing? Do we want to go north into Canada or south into Oregon? We went to Idaho. I know there was one that Travis was kind of planning way early for, where was it? It was LA or Los Angeles or Anaheim or something. Yeah.
Wow.
That one got removed from the list eventually. I saw that from, I think it was this 2005 list. So
Had it posted on his MySpace page, probably.
yeah. But I've got the list on my profile. So if you go to my profile,
Oh, okay.
I put them on there too. And as I decide, I'll move them around. But there are some ideas there. Canada's featuring quite big soon. So
Now, I mean, a good amount of work goes into these, right? You just you're not just randomly closing your eyes, pointing at a map, and saying we're going there.
Right.
You pick a spot, and so there is some group involvement as to what town or what area is visited.
I have a people that I work with.
Okay.
Andrew RJ likes to go over the route. So him and I have been, I'll do the main route and he'll look at it and point things out because I get tired of looking at it.
Yeah.
And he'll go through and go, well, this one you're having them drive around the lake 3 times. You don't want to do that. So I can fix that.
Just drive through the lake one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Car wash.
Really true. Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, I know. And then Jackie, Princess Trouble, has actually been helping by sending out email or messages to all the cache owners, warning them that we're coming and asking if we should pull any for whatever reason, like safety or whatever. So that's been working out really well.
So you do contact every cache owner, or at least make the attempt to, right?
Yes.
Contact every cache owner for the cache on the route. And that gives them the opportunity, if they're like, I don't want this much traffic here, or like you said earlier, there's not enough parking, because there can be 5, 6, 7, 8 vehicles at a time pulling up. Or it's a delicate area and that much foot traffic would just, smash all the pretty wildflowers.
Yeah. It also warns them to do maintenance on all their caches. Get fresh logs out there because we're going to fill them up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get messages from people from this last one saying, yeah, I went out and checked all my caches. We're ready to go. Great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So go ahead.
I was going to say, would you say for the most part, people are receptive and enthusiastic about it, or more apprehensive? And
I had to pull 4 off the last route of 115, I think it was, or something like that. So there's people that had very good reasons. Like the one was an 1.5 hour hike, which I didn't realize.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
When I put it on the routes, I was just kind of maybe not that one. There's some people that don't want anything to do with it, but they're few and far between, which is nice.
Well, okay, so that brings up a really good topic. You don't want to do an 1.5 hour hike. How do you, set these? How do you make what caches make the list? That's the better way to say it.
Yes.
Is it the ones with a short hike or no hike, a park and grab?
Combination. Basically, the one for Bellingham, I start off with anything with over 10 favorite points in the area. And that way there's probably aren't any light pole caches or anything like that. But then I look for, has it been logged recently? Or there are a lot of DNFs? Is the owner active? Because I had a whole bunch on one of them that had a whole bunch of DNFs, and they went out and fixed them. So it worked out pretty well. I try and make it logical, looking in an area. I made a mistake on the last one where we went out in the boonies before we went downtown, and we should have done downtown first thing in the morning, then gone out, because just the parking issues.
Sure.
Yeah. So I've got to keep that in mind. I keep an eye on the hikes. I mean, people like to hike, so I'll put short hikes in there. And people learn that's a long hike, and they'll just skip it. Multis I put a few multis on. I found out for the the Chehalis one, that one of the multis had stops all over the area. So you would be going back and forth.
Yeah.
So
if you could work those into the rest of the map route, that would be kind of nice.
I did do that, and it was confusing because people go, "What? Why are we stopping here?" And then,
Didn't you do that in the Centralia?
Yeah,
When it had multiples kind of all over town, and if you don't know to look at that, yeah.
So,
Are you only doing geocaches or are Adventure Labs included also?
it depends. We have done Adventure Labs in the past. I didn't do any on the last one. There's a bunch of good ones in Bellingham I'm looking at. If you want to let's see. July, the campus shouldn't be too crazy. The WWU has some great Adventure Labs with all their artwork they have on campus. So I'm looking at that one. But I started the map the week after the last one. And so
Wow. Okay.
I just go out there and find all the caches in this area, and then I start whittling them down and stuff like that. So, but it doesn't take a lot of time at the beginning. It's that last week where you're trying to generate all the maps, generate all the extra, and get it all posted. So, but it doesn't take that much time. Maybe 4 hours, a couple nights a week. That's all.
I know Bellingham still has an active webcam cache. Would you include a webcam cache in a cache machine?
It's on the list.
All right.
There was one we had that was a webcam. We started there very first thing in the morning, and it was dark, and everybody had their flashlights on their face. But you look at the picture, and it's just a bunch of glows. You couldn't see anything.
And what is a glow?
Oh, I don't know what a glow is. Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for setting us up. We feel good about that. Lost Ken has said he didn't know about the cache machine until the police started writing tickets at his cache.
Ooh, I didn't hear about that.
He says, we love that we had more logs on our caches in one day than in the previous 18 months.
Yeah, that's us.
So we know, I've been involved in, let's say maybe a fender bender, a car accident, a breakdown, some annoyed neighbors over the years at some of these gatherings, shall we say, these cache machines. Now, Seebeck Tribe, you had a carload of geocaching friends when something interesting happened. Do you care to expound upon that situation?
I'd love to expound. So in Lewiston, I had Fairy Honey and Clever Cachers, Chase and his daughter, in my car, and we left a cache called Speed Trap. Should have paid attention, but I didn't. So I left, going down the hill, and I was so focused on where my next destination was and where I needed to make a turn, and we were chit-chatting, and I moved over to the left lane to get into the left turn-hand lane and saw the cop car lights behind me, and I'm like, oh, crankies, I'll just hop in this left lane and make the best left turn, and he'll just go on by. Nope. He came right in behind me. And so as I'm making the turn and he's following me, I'm telling the people in the car, I'm like, look what's behind us. Oh, no. So I immediately pulled over, and I turned the engine off and I put the keys up on the dashboard, and we're all sitting there. And all of a sudden, the passenger door starts opening up as the officer is walking up. And all three of us yell at Lana, get back in the car. There's a cop behind us. So evidently the way I parked, she couldn't see the cop car. And when I turned, she evidently didn't see the cop car. So he came up and was really nice and told me that I was doing 48 and a 35 going down the hill. Didn't even see him. Because I guess I was going too fast. So we were chatting and I was just floored. I was shocked. And some of my information that he needed was in the very back. So I got out and we talked with him. And he, as we were in the back, we were talking, and I was getting my proof of insurance. And we were laughing and chatting, and I said, oh, there's a running joke with cache machines that someone usually gets stopped during a cash machine. I said, and I literally turned over to him and he said, guess that's me this time. Jokingly. And then I said, as I'm still looking, I'm like, would you take a picture when this is all done? So we did that. So I got back in my car and he came back, and lo and behold, somebody was leaving the other cache called Internet, and it was Quads in the Mud. Well, I had been razzing Quads in the Mud all day long, like just giving him a hard time on some of his caches. Well, he was nice enough to stop and take a picture of the evidence of my bright yellow truck being pulled over. So Brad pulled up while the officer was in the car running my stuff, and we were talking, and Brad kindly informed me it's only 35 coming down that hill.
A little late, Brad.
I said, thanks. Nice info now. But he also was very helpful as he gave us the code to get into the next cache because you needed a code. So that saved us that. And then he drives by the officer, and the officer, he goes, stops, and he goes, she is a good lady, I promise.
That sounds like Brad.
And as he's leaving, later I learned the officer was just chuckling in the back of the car, in his car. Poor Chase. I was giggling because at that point I just had to giggle because I just couldn't cry. And poor Chase is like, Lori, you got to stop. You got to stop. Stop giggling. And I'm like, I can't. I have to giggle or I'm going to cry. So I later told Chase, I said, I was giggling mostly too because I had a great conversation with the officer while I was in the back of the truck. So he comes up and he was so gracious. He gave me only a warning. I was in the system. And I would have only, at the dinner, I told everybody I got $100 ticket.
And you it was collected an offering to cover that?
Mm-hmm.
No, nobody did.
We offered.
But I wasn't far off because my ticket would have been $90.
Okay.
But I later realized I got home and I had expired tabs. And he didn't say a single word. He didn't say anything. And I was so great. I mean, because he could have dinged me for that too.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
But when we're all done and he was all done giving my ticket or my warning and everything, I looked at him. I said, "Can we have a picture now?" And he's like, "Sure." So we all got out and had a picture with him. So it was great. It was scary, but you know, I just had to giggle because at that point in time, that's all I could do is giggle. Worried about what I was going to, because I really thought it was going to be a higher ticket. I was thinking more in the 200s because of how fast I was going.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But then you didn't realize that Brad had taken a picture and sent it to us and then posted it on Facebook.
No, I didn't. Is that how y'all knew? Oh my God. I thought you guys knew at the dinner. I did not see that.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. No, I did not know that. Yeah, so when I got to the dinner, because we were a little bit later, of course, I got a round of applause. Yes, speed trap. So pay attention to the word speed trap because there's a reason.
There is a reason there. Okay. Seaback Tribe, was the officer aware of the cache machine, that there were a bunch of crazy geocachers driving around? Or
he was not aware of the cache machine itself, but he was wondering why everybody kept pulling into that particular parking lot all day long.
Yes.
So I just explained what cache machines were, and I just, quickly said that, we were coming from multiple states, working this area, and then going to dinner later, and, again, breaking the law. Yes, I was breaking the law, Rich. Did you
invite him to the dinner event?
I should have.
That may not have gone over well. That may have been considered bribery. Probably don't want to do something like that. Welcome to come along. I'll buy you a dinner later.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't know about Brad posting that on the. Oh, that is hilarious. He did send me the pics, so I did ask him to send me the pictures. So.
Nice.
Yeah, that's cute.
So communication is a thing in your car. Like, don't get out of the car because we're being pulled over by the police. And, between other cashers, like, here's the code to the next thing. But how do you communicate? Is there the best way? I've heard you mention Discord group. There's some people like to post pictures of other cachers on Facebook groups. Back in the day, I remember the family FRS radios. Channel 2 was supposed to be unofficially the geocaching channel to monitor when you're out caching. I don't know if that's still a thing or not. What's the best way to communicate with other cache machiners?
For me to get messages out to everybody, Discord or posting an announcement on the event page. That will go to everybody. But if you want to talk to between yourselves, Discord is instantaneous. Geocaching, messaging, that works too if you know who you're trying to get a hold of.
Sure.
Discord's more of blah, yell at everybody. Whereas, if I wanted to talk to Chris, I'll just send a message to Chris. So we're trying, because of the issues we've had, like with the guy with the gun, we're trying to set up something. I know a lot of people don't want to get involved with Discord. It's the newfangled thing. Of course.
That internet thing's not going to catch on anyway.
Nah, never. No.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Word of mouth, phone calls too. I mean, if you know somebody, we've had all kinds of different things.
Ham and I have communicated with ham radios during cache outings.
AOL Instant Messenger.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just post the updates on my GeoCities webpage.
Everybody sees that.
Yeah.
That's right. What was your GeoCities webpage, Wits End?
Heartland/meadows/7546.
Why does he remember this? There are
I don't know.
things that are just burned into his memory.
I can barely remember what I had for breakfast, yesterday, but I can remember that stupid address. So.
Nervous Energies wants to know where someone could find that Discord link.
Great question.
Okay. On Facebook, there's a group called PNW Cache Machines. It's listed there. And on the geocaching.com forums, under the Northwest Washington State, you dig down, you'll finally find the state one. It's in there. It's on the doesn't help. It's on the Discord link. But yeah, we're trying to get the word out. So I know Wendy TWLR got hooked up to Discord, and I gave her her own little group for the Bend, Oregon one, so she can put anything she wants in there and talk. So
there are groups for each one of the cache machines. It's just not a general chat.
There's a general chat in Discord.
Okay.
And then when I decide on the location, I create a whole new group just for that. That way we're all, if you only sign up for that one group, you only get the messages for that one little section. So if you're not wanting to see the one that happened 3 weeks ago, you don't have to see it.
Okay. By the way, Chris, I chose the ending number 7546 and just because 546 spells Jim on a phone keypad.
Of course it does. Okay, that actually makes more sense. How you can remember that? Okay, you've got to chose it.
It needed to be a 4-digit number, so I threw the 7 in the front. But 546 was my name. So.
All the things you learn. Okay, so there's an official map and route done through Streets and Trips, or however. We talked about using something like Cache Tour.
Yep. I do create a list for Crash Tour. It's just a list of what Streets and Trips came up with. So I haven't actually switched over to routing with Cache Tour yet. I know it would cost them a bunch more money to bump up the limit from 80 to it's a couple hundred, I think.
Okay.
But it's up to the Cache Tour people to decide if they want to pay for that or not. But
you're talking an individual Cache Tour subscription?
Yeah, no, the people will actually run the Cache Tour website. They're actually supplying this free to the users.
Right.
And, yeah. So,
Okay.
I mean, I give them money just because I use it a lot.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's the best routing right now available.
it is. Unless you go for a professional based system, which is several $100s a month.
Yeah.
And that's for salespeople and things like that, where they can afford to pay that.
Right. They're making money at it. We're doing it as a hobby.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Free is my love language.
Yeah.
I enjoy Cache Tour too.
Yeah.
But when you, like Jim says, when you get, over 80, it does, when you're routing, it does make it harder. You have to break it into chunks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think about that too, because like Lewiston, I actually could do the north side of the river and the south side of the river and the east side of and go into Washington. So I could have 3 separate sections. I would just have to figure out how to hook them together. But it's something for the future.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Nice. We should have used that on the Roseburg Geo Tour or a Geo Coin Challenge, because Subway Mark and I were doing that one. We missed one way up northwest, so we had to drive back up there and added about half an hour onto our. Yeah. Just because it was off the edge of the map, I didn't look at it and see it.
Well, and that brings. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say for the Tri-Cities GeoCoin Challenge, I would take the extra time when they posted to get them into the Cache Tour and route them. So one year we went back and forth across the river. I don't know how many times, just because the routing was
right.
So, yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was thinking it brings up an interesting topic. You mentioned Roseburg, Chris, and for a geo tour or a geocoin event, you get a coin or a souvenir. Somebody might wonder about, well, what about a cash machine? These aren't official events, so there's no souvenir coin kind of thing, right? Or is that maybe in the works? Or
I know the WSGA was trying to put tags together for the events. We did the one for Wine
Walla
Country.
Walla.
Pardon?
We did it for Walla Walla.
Walla Walla.
Okay.
The car had a bunch of grapes and things on top of it, but nothing's come of it since. And I don't know how well I'm not involved with it. Jackie was asking me about it. She set it up. So
just something I thought of.
Yeah, no, it's something the WSGA wants to really get involved with this. In fact, I'm actually working with the event committee on setting these up. So I have those resources to use too.
Great.
They want to make it bigger. I like it where it is. But, you don't want to get it too big where you start.
Yeah.
Right. And the whole idea of the cash machine is going from sun up to sundown, and then having an event, a meet and greet, meet, greet, and eat at the end. But as the days get longer, that sun up to sundown can be, 12 plus hours.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So, getting 100 caches in, it's not really that much of a challenge on those days.
Yeah. Bellingham is I'm probably going to break for dinner about 7 before it gets dark, just because everything in Bellingham closes at 9 or 9:30.
Yeah.
So, I hear they roll the sidewalks up precisely at 10.
Yes.
People who live there are not seen again.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's one thing I keep in mind too. Is luckily we've been lucky in finding places that can handle us and that stay open late. So,
A lot
but
of
you can always
things.
go out. You can always go out after dinner too. I know people would get up and oh, you know where this one is? Let's go find it.
Yeah.
And they'd take off and go find it. Yeah.
Well, and let's be honest, those maps are still effective. You could probably get the old cash machine maps and still go do that any given day. If you want to go out and say, hey, you know what? I really wanted to do Centralia, but I couldn't that day. You can go do it on a Wednesday if you want to.
Yeah, Skyhawker has been posting some of the old routes. He grabbed them off my website and just been posting them. So they're available. I mean, I've got a lot of the maps available.
Mhm.
I changed PCs a little while ago and I lost a few, but I can regenerate them. So,
Oh, that's the beauty of Microsoft Streets and Trips.
I wish they kept that going.
It was a pretty good routing program.
It was
Not
at the
bad.
time.
Yeah.
At the time. Mm-hmm.
Well, Seabeck Tribe, Terrible Teas, thank you for coming on to talk about cash machines and your adventures during those cash machines.
Yeah.
We appreciate
No
it.
more future ones.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. You know, not everybody
actually-
enjoys it. But...
That post on the Facebook page was me.
Mhm. Oh,
I
it was you that posted that. Okay, Brad sent it to us. Posted it
I
somewhere.
sent it to you guys. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So,
Nice.
Mhm.
There you go, folks. Thanks for taking the time to tune in. We hoped you enjoyed this episode of Caching in the Northwest.
Yes, indeedy. And we'd like to take a moment to thank Land Sharks and Gold Country Geotourism. They are our corporate Denali level sponsors. Landsharks.ca is the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. You can check them out online. Remember, they ship online orders daily. And for absolutely amazing geocaching adventures, check out exploregoldcountry.com.
Go ahead.
We want to thank all of our faithful Denali level supporters. That is Landsharks and Gold Country Geotourism. It's also Groovy Owl, Cool Cow Cachers, and Cachely, the geocaching app. If you want to know more about supporting the show, click the Patreon link on the CachingNW.com website.
Like Ari54321 did.
And Butterfly Girl,
Sege Hove.
Peach of Washington, who's in Washington right now.
Finally back. Dora Moore.
Just Carlo,
Wino Seattle.
Whidbey Island Gal,
Railroad.
B Pendragon,
Gas Station Tuna.
Team Noltex,
Mountain Bike.
Limax,
MC3 Cats.
Geocaches.
GSM times 2.
Hey, there's this Seabeck Tribe. Great cacher, I've heard.
I've heard. I don't
She's
know
got a
much
great-
about them.
She's got a great birthday, too.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
How about Kid Vegas 19?
But Alarobrick,
You talks to rocks.
Ackerdoc,
M Nerve.
LG 9000,
Wet Coaster.
CRS 98,
You Dak.
GeoBirder,
Nervous Energies.
Korsgat,
Geo Nav Pro.
Logwork,
Skyhawker.
Antaeus,
J-Car.
BC Rockcrawler,
Flagman.
Greenwords,
Kitty Quest.
Genies,
Camp Clan.
Boomer 365,
The Roseburg bound Subway Mark.
Trexter,
Thank you. I missed one. I got so excited about that. Kev MacD.
and just finding our way through the list.
Yeah,
In a weird
through the
order.
list. Now, the Seabeck Tribe and Terrible Teas, if listeners wanted to get a hold of you, get in contact, what's the best way to reach you?
Lori?
I would say on the geocaching message page, Seabeck Tribe would be the fastest way. And I am also on Facebook if somebody reaches out that way. But I would say the geocaching message center is the best.
Or just flash their lights behind you on the freeway?
Yeah. Flash some lights,
Make her stop. Yeah.
Terrible
Yeah.
Teas?
Same with me because I don't run Facebook at work, so I don't see any of that. But I can look at the geocaching stuff at work, so I do see that during the day. And the Pacific Northwest Cache Machine group, you're welcome to join in there. See what It's not real busy until we get close to a cache machine.
Mhm.
It picks up and then it gets quiet. So
Nice.
But it's a
Well-
great place to ask questions.
There you go. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And folks, thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Your support helps keep the quality shows coming. If you like the show, please click the Patreon link on the CachingNW.com website. If you didn't like the show, let us know what you want us to talk about. But if you like the vibe, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and give us a review. Now, if you were in a restaurant, you would tip. If you were in a live audience, you would clap. But since you're on a podcast, leave us a free, fast, fabulous, fantastic 5-star review. And of course, you can call 253-693-TFTC and leave a comment, ask a question, join us on a road trip any time of the day or night. Of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingnw.com. Join us every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Pacific for a live show and chat. This show is produced by Chris Umfenauer, Jim Paulwitz, Jay Kennedy, and Brian Lang. It's licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Copyright 2024 by Chris Umfenauer. And folks, I ask you to stay tuned for
The After Show.
Okay, that seemed really loud in my ears, but
All good here.
oh,
Yeah, good here. Yeah.
Kitty Quest likes the cattail.
Yeah. I've got two that like to walk back and forth. Yeah.
Oh, Heather got to watch the whole show.
Hey, so glad.
Hey, thank you.
Nice. Yeah.
The internet didn't go down on a Thursday night at 9:00.
We tried.
Starcasher says, I'm remembering my Saturday nights in Toledo, Ohio.
Oh, yeah, it's like being nowhere at all.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. We had a couple of FTASs. The Fraser Valley Cache Bash 7 was kicked off last weekend with 48 new caches. Who was up there last weekend to get those? No, not us.
Not I.
Not us.
Not I.
The Cedar River Trail just published 85 caches down here in Renton, so on the 4th. So there's lots of them out.
Lots of them there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Peach of Washington had 2 events in Playa del Carmen in the last 2 Fridays. Yeah, no sympathy here. I'm glad you held events. I hope they went well.
He's not jealous at all.
No, we're going to move on. Let's see. I think that's all we had.
I think so. It's a great show.
Yeah, it was really good. Folks, you guys, you did a great job. I appreciate it.
I had a good time.
For having us on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a lot of fun. Hey, until next week, get out and get caching in the Northwest.